Hello, YouTubers and random Doctor Who fans. It is me, Ozzy, one part of the Monostream YouTube channel, joined with.
Hello, I'm Mana, one part of the Mono Supreme YouTube channel, and
Cool.
today we are going to be talking about the huge, ginormous, colossal Titanic news that just dropped the other day, that Russell T Davies will be coming back as head writer, stroke showrunner, messy title, basically the guy in charge of Doctor Who.
I mean, did you intentionally use Titanic as a pun? Because, I mean, Voyage of the Damned.
No.
No. Okay. Thought not.
Just synonyms for big, really, really big.
Really, really big. So we did want to get this out on the day of when it came out, but I was working too late and I would have been way too tired to do it. So you've had to wait a little bit. But oh well, opinions don't age that bad. So
Also, I was quite sick myself with the COVID vaccine.
oh right, I didn't even ask because you had your vaccine on that day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your vaccines, kids. Just do it. Don't ask questions. But anyway, so this is the first time that we've actually properly talked about this news. We talked about it over Messenger, so we're kind of going to be back and forth in. I feel like we have quite different opinions. I think we're both on the same line in the fact that it's going to do good things for the franchise, but I do have other opinions about, different kind of stuff.
Yes.
But,
well, so ground knowledge. Russell T Davies is going to be. Well, the official press statement says he'll make an explosive return to screens to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who in 2023 and the series beyond. BBC Studios are partnering with Bad Wolf to produce. So yeah.
So, but does that mean, right off the bat, my first question is, are we going to get a 60th anniversary special?
See, that they've made it vague. They've not said 60th anniversary special. They just said to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, which I think, I think it means that we might get more options, a bit more kind of like in 2013 with the 50th, how we got like the 50th special. We got the Night of the Doctor. We got the Five-ish Doctors reboot.
Yeah.
We got other little mini-sodes. All these things, not just specifically the TV show, or like a full episode of a TV show, but we got a few little treats. For fans, and that's what I assume will be happening. Not like we might get a 60th anniversary special, or we might not. But either way, whatever we do get, I don't think it'll be a series in 2023. No. Yeah, like bring back some old classic Doctors. That's what I'd like to see, or a sequel to the Five-ish Doctors reboot.
That would be quite nice. That'd be quite nice. I'll throw in a hot take. I don't really know how hot this take is, but I don't want a 60th anniversary special.
Ooh.
Because, okay, I'm going to bring up the other franchise that I like over there, that one. But whenever they do an anniversary of sorts, like the 20th anniversary, everything that came out in that year was so rushed and they just didn't give the developers enough time to actually perfect the actual game that came out. Sonic 06, I'm sure even non-Sonic fans know that game because it's infamous for being terrible. But I just get the same feeling with Doctor Who, as in I feel like Series 11 was rushed because they kind of wanted to fill the gap. They didn't want no Doctor Who to be on that year. And I feel like if they do the same with the 60th, that might happen. But having said that, now that we know it's Russell T Davies, I'm much more confident that he could handle it than Chris Chibnall. So, I'm a bit split. I'm a bit split on the 60th thing.
Yeah, I mean, Russell is quite a a fast-thinking creative, I think. So, like, I think even if there was a 60th anniversary special and it had to be rushed, that he would probably be the best guy to get it in on
Yeah,
time.
I mean, it's all about what the higher ups say, whether we do get an anniversary or not. I don't really think it's Russell T Davis's call when it comes to that thing.
Probably not.
The BBC will go, right, we need this amount of money in this amount of time, and he's the best guy for the job. And I think that's probably what's happened this time round. They probably realised, oh, the 60th is coming out soon. We don't have enough confidence in Chris Chibnall to necessarily pull that off with all the work he's been doing previously. So, yeah, what do you think about the move to hire Rusty Davis?
I couldn't
Rehire
be
Rusty
happier.
Davis. But I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of like a logistical thing from the BBC, what do you think that the reasoning was behind it?
I think. Oh, I gotta be careful what I say. I think that the BBC needed a replacement for Chris Chibnall once he announced that he was going to be leaving. And like we did see in the press that like multiple people, or at least one of the person that we know, was it the guy who did Babylon 5? He
I
said
don't know.
that he actually went and talked to the BBC, had talks about becoming the, Doctor Who head writer.
Oh,
Because
after
it's like,
Chibnall.
yeah,
That's interesting. That I didn't know that.
I think he was like on Twitter and he said like, "Oh, I'll have a go," and
Mm,
then he actually talked to the newspapers and was like, "Yeah, we've actually been talking about this."
that's kind of cool.
So clearly they've been talking to a few people, probably,
Mm.
weighing up their options, and then, I mean, this will get revealed later on, I think, but we don't know yet who approached who, whether it was the BBC who approached Russell T Davies or Russell T Davies who approached the BBC. I think it's probably the other way around. The BBC approached Russell T because, like, earlier this year, somebody, I don't know if he was just making stuff up just to ward off the newspapers, but he was like, I think he was asked if he would ever come back to Doctor Who, and he was like, "Nah, I don't understand it all these days."
Oh yeah, I remember when that came out. That was funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt Russell T Davis's presence recently, and the news didn't. I did double check to see whether it was real, but it didn't really surprise me because I kind of predicted that he'd come back in some capacity. I was kind of convinced in my head that he would write the 60th anyway, because
That's
I
what
don't
I
know.
always wanted, at least.
Yeah, yeah. I think the BBC know that he knows Doctor Who in and out, and obviously he's done it before, and he's been very successful doing it before.
Also, I think the fact that, I mean, what had to have helped was Doctor Who in lockdown. That
Oh
whole
yeah,
sort of
he had a presence in
internet.
that. Yeah,
He had a huge presence in
huge
that. He
presence in
made
that.
his
Yeah.
he made a bloody Twitter account and talked to people and started a hashtag and actually convinced everyone on Twitter to make "detonate the reality bomb" trending on Twitter.
Detonate the
Um,
reality bomb.
yeah, and then he
I love
also
that one.
wrote little mini-sodes. He did the Farewell Sarah Jane, which is brilliant, so heartfelt, and then he also did The Secret of Novice Haim, which added to sort of the end of his era a bit. What else did he do? He released the Doctor Who and the Time Warp short story, which wasn't new, but he had written it up previously for the 50th, but you know, his sort of introduction to that, you know, felt enthusiastic still. It still felt like he was talking about how some people might not view that story as canon because we see a different Eighth Doctor regeneration.
Oh yeah.
But then he was like, you know, after the Timeless Children, all stories count, or all stories are a part of the whole thing.
Oh no, we've got
So
that the whole timeless children thing, which, oh god, right. I'm not one of these people who hates it for the sake of hating it, but I feel like now that we know Chibnall was a temporary showrunner, in the fact that he was kind of doing franchise maintenance, I feel like it was a very irresponsible move for him to do. No matter whether you like it or not, I feel like doing something that big when you know that you're not going to be staying that long. I kind of feel like it's Rusty Davies is going to be. I mean, I think he likes the Timeless Children thing, but either way, he's going to be picking up the pieces of the slack of the Timeless Children. So it's
yeah,
it's a real difficult one. If Chibnall had actually bothered to flesh out that idea, and you know, he might do in Series 13, but let's face it, probably not. Then maybe the job wouldn't be so hard for Russell to try and pick up the pieces of.
yeah. I mean, he doesn't really have to pick up the pieces of anything, to be honest. He can just fucking ignore it.
He
Sorry,
can,
cursing.
but I don't think he will. I don't know. I get the feeling that he's wanting to.
You think he'll actually add on to it or something?
Yeah.
Indulge in it.
From what he's been posting recently about, do you remember the thing that you shared with me about the two doctors that he'd written about one with the kid and one with the bald lady? I feel like
yes.
I feel like he might do more of that kind of thing with the Doctor, and I personally, I'm kind of I subscribe to the Hartnell being the first Doctor thing, and I feel like the other idea which Andrew Cartmel came out with, that's kind of an interesting thing, but I don't think you should explore it on screen. So that's one of my reservations about what's going to be happening next. A lot of people have been going, oh, he's going to retcon the Timeless Children, but I don't think he will.
I mean, he didn't retcon like the half human thing.
Well, that's
the TV
true.
movie.
Did you see?
He was very very tempted to, but he never did.
I can't remember one of the dramas he wrote. What was it called? Was it Queer as Folk? Was that it? Like one of the characters
Probably.
was a Doctor Who fan, and he said,
yes, it was Queer as Folk.
They're all the Doctors are canon apart from Paul McGann because he's half human or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Rusty Davies says that he's canon. So
yeah.
I
think he did that just to troll people at the time, because the whole thing is like they're the naming. They're like one of them's like Lost for Love,
and
the other one's like, oh, you'll know, or is it? Trying to think. Watch in a week. He'll be able to name all the Doctor Who's in order.
Yeah.
And then they both name the first 7 Doctors. They were like Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. What about Paul McGann? Paul McGann doesn't count.
Before we go anywhere, I just want to say hi to Bad Wolf 66, Devon Hassan, and Doctorus Prime. Thank you guys for tuning in. And a hot take here, which I kind of agree with. Not a big fan of the whole War Doctor concept. I know it's nothing to do with the Rusty Davies thing, but I don't know. I kind of want to just put that in there. Where was I going with this? Because you mentioned the 8th Doctor to 9th Doctor regeneration thing earlier.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Devon was replying to. And hello to how you're doing. That's a nice username. But yeah, where were we on the Rusty Davies thing?
My point was just that he released a bunch of sort of new material during lockdown, and it kind of gives us a bit of a flavor into what he might do coming back now. Well, it just sort of shows that he definitely hasn't lost the touch of Doctor Who magic. And yeah, I think some people are a bit hesitant about the news because I think the assumption might be that everyone is cheering for Russell's return because they think that the he'll make Doctor Who just like it was before.
Mm.
Like he'll just go back to doing the same old things. And reusing the same old tropes and whatever. Which I don't think he'll do.
No.
I don't think he's that sentimental of a writer. What is this fly? Get away.
No one can see the fly on screen. It's all right.
Yeah, I think I said this on like Cynical Who's video that since Doctor Who, Russell T Davies has broadened his horizons.
Yeah.
He's really grown out of Doctor Who in a way, not in a like a I'm not part of this anymore, but in a sort of like in improving himself past Doctor Who.
Doctor Who is where
He's
actors
done
go to die.
like he's done what's it called? Banana.
Banana.
Channel 4. He's done A Very English Scandal for the BBC. That's based on a true story. So years and years for the BBC as well, which is
which is a phenomenal series.
one of the best TV series of all time, probably.
I didn't like the ending. I didn't. Spoilers if anyone's not seen it, go watch it. Pause now if you haven't seen it. I didn't like how they killed off. Was it Daniel? Is that the main character's name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because after that
that's
happened,
not the end, but sure.
No, it's not the end. No. I'm getting on to the end. Wait. So they killed him off like 2/3 of the way through, and for me, it kind of lost momentum, and I kind of feel like Russell, when it comes to the latter half of his stories, like if he does a 3-parter, the last part kind of does suffer, and like the whole big red button kind of thing. And I'm not looking forward to him doing that again. I really hope he doesn't do that, because in years and years, the last episode did kind of feel a bit underwhelming and anticlimactic for me, anyway.
Yeah, you mentioned a good point there about the big red button, because that's one of the biggest criticisms you can have about Journey's End, the climax of that, because everything gets solved with like Donna flicking a few switches.
Yeah, but having said that,
on
though,
one controlled panel.
Journey to the Center of the TARDIS is one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes, and that has a big red button thing. And I know nobody else likes that episode, but I love it. I think it's great. Probably because it's got the cult in it. Firewoman, that's probably why I like it so much. But anyway.
Yeah, but It's a Sin too did that. But yeah, I think he's gone to some new places, some darker places, definitely. And probably also like, especially with It's a Sin, like he's finally sort of accomplished some, I guess, lifelong, like aside from Doctor Who's sort of lifelong writing aspirations that you would have, like writing a drama about AIDS. That's like
yeah. Didn't
quite a big thing.
Didn't his husband die of AIDS? Or was it? Oh no, that was cancer. But I feel like, didn't he know a lot of people back in the day who died of AIDS?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, It's a Sin is basically sort of an abridged sort of retelling of his own sort of days as a young person during the AIDS epidemic,
Mm.
and the character Jill is based on a real life person he knew called Jill. Yeah, so that's also sort of true story-ish, but yeah. I felt you said earlier about Russell T Davies having a presence
Mm.
sort of around. He had a presence sort of at my uni, or at least in relation to my uni a few months ago. It's more than a few months ago. It's like, I don't know, back in spring or whatever. He did a webinar with our filmmaking course. You'll know because I snuck you in.
Yes. Don't tell anybody at Manus Uni.
Yeah, yeah, that was brilliant. Honestly, seeing my tutor interview Russell T Davies.
Oh,
And
I'll never forget the question when somebody asked, "Oh, what do you
oh
think of the
god,
current run of
yes.
Doctor Who?" And he said, "That's not very professional of you." And it's like, well, people have asked that question to him before, and he didn't react like that. So maybe he got caught on a bad day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to throw in when we were talking about. Well, he's very good at like grounding things and writing in relation to stuff that's happened in his life, and I think that's one of the best things that he does. But
Yeah.
that my worry, I only just thought of this now, is that we've had modern day relatable stories for the past
Yeah.
how many 16, 17 years, and I mean this is just personal preference. I mean, my ideal Doctor Who is it will never happen on screen. I'm fully aware that probably will never happen. But I don't know. I kind of want them to take it beyond modern day. I don't know. It just I worry that we'll get another Rose Tyler kind of companion, or something like that. Because he did have a
Yeah.
common trope of doing that back in his era, and I hope he steps outside that box.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it would be the most absolute safest thing he could do,
Mm.
but like not in a good way, kind of safe.
Yeah, but I mean, look
If
at
he,
you've got all the Netflix series like Game of Thrones, and I mean, Stranger Things was in the 80s. I mean, look how successful they were. I don't think like time period
yeah,
is a constraint, really.
no, I think yeah, I'd love to see him create a full-time alien companion
Mm.
or a
Yeah,
full-time historical, like way back historical companion,
that
or
would be nice.
both,
Or both.
or
Yeah, why
all
not
of them.
both? Yeah, all of them. All of the above. Bring K9 back while you're at it as well. The most inefficient robot dog in the entire world.
You know, he was actually seriously considering like bringing him back and making him like a permanent thing when he did the reboot.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, I really like how he was handled in the Rusty Davis run. In like the Sarah Jane Adventures and in Series 2 of Doctor Who. In Series 4,
Yeah,
because, they used him at the right points and they didn't overuse him. And I think that Rusty Davis is definitely good at managing ideas like that properly. Whereas somebody like Stephen Moffat, he never explores his ideas properly and things like that. And yeah, I definitely feel like Rusty Davis does have a firmer grasp on treating the old things a little bit more courteously. But then again, he did overuse the Daleks. I think they had a season too many.
uh,
Yeah.
well, moving on to that, I think it's quite interesting now. Uh, Inevitably, he'll start using the Daleks,
You will.
um, and things are different now because, like, during his era, the sort of the case was that the Daleks were all extinct except for when they always came back as the one survivor.
Yeah. I mean, it did get a little bit annoying, but I definitely prefer that to than Chibnall's idea of a million Daleks in a spaceship and none of them destroying humans. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's one of many of my rebuttals with that story. But that's yeah. Go watch our review of Revolution of the Daleks. And I get very angry. No.
But yeah, it's because the Daleks, since Victory of the Daleks, you know, they're all back. And
how's he going to clean that one up? What's he going to do? What's he going to pull out of his sleeve?
I don't know.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Maybe you won't focus on that.
Yeah, maybe big the Daleks up again. As in, don't deal with them for the first couple of series, and then for the series 3 finale, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
The thing about the thing I find most exciting about this news is like you can now sort of go back through all his interviews and point out all the points where he has regrets about Doctor Who, about like not doing stuff in the show. And now you can put it in his face and be like, hey, look, you now have the opportunity to make a sequel to a classic Who story. You now have the opportunity to make a Marvel style cinematic universe, like for proper real this time.
Yeah, I know. He said Doctor Who should be doing that, and maybe we will actually get that. That would be wonderful. That's one of my big ambitions. One of my dreams for Doctor Who is for it to have many spin-offs and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, because like I mean, when you compare it to Marvel, so like if you're a Marvel fan right now, you are living your best life basically. Because especially if you got a Disney Plus account, like ever since Black Widow came out, after that aired, they started week by week putting the original series up, and but the thing is, like, they've got so many series lined up that they've put into production.
This stuff was planned since 2008.
Yeah, so like once one show finishes, you can literally put on the next show the next week. So
yeah,
you're not going dry for Marvel content.
No.
And I
Meanwhile,
think
we are. Yeah. Just before we go anywhere, thanks to Doctorus Prime for tuning in. He's got to dash. And Devon says #save Tobey Maguire. Yes, I want Tobey Maguire to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Anyway, back to Rusty Davis. And yes, #save the Paradigm as well. Thanks for that, Devon. But yeah, okay. Oh, I had a point and it went. Oh God.
Well, I'm just gonna carry on.
Okay.
So like,
I'll think about the point while you're talking.
Yeah. So now we could have stuff like the Return of Donna Noble. We could have the Nyssa Adventures. We could have the 10th Doctor and 11th Doctor, messing about.
Yeah, messing about.
There's so many ideas, untapped ideas. You could bring back, actors whose characters have, all but died or whatever. Literally just hand some writers who need a job a premise for the show.
Yeah.
Just send them off, man. Just send them off. All they need is just a good all they need is just the BBC to believe in the idea and fund it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all well and good. I remember my point now. It's all well and good saying all this, right? But the number one priority that Doctor Who now needs to absolutely nail, and there is no excuse for this. Chibnall tried it; it didn't work. we need Doctor Who to be in favour with the general audience again. How is Russell going to do this? How, after everything that's happened, what can, save the franchise? I mean, it's not in the worst place ever, but, what can bring Doctor Who back in favour with the general public? Because I guarantee you people do not know it's on. I've spoken to people at work saying, oh, you know Doctor Who? And they go, no. And it's like, well, that pretty much just says it all. Because you go, oh, do you know Spider-Man? Oh, yeah, I know that. You know Thanos? Yeah, I know who he is. Doctor Who? What's that? So Rusty Davies has a hell of a job bringing it back into the public consciousness. He did it before, but I kind of feel a lot of that was the nostalgia of the old fans, wanting it to come back so much. Whereas the old fans now don't really care anymore because they're so tired because it's been on for so long and, it's not the ideal show that they want anymore. So I feel like he's got to win over the old fans again and capture a new audience. How do you do that? I would not want his job. Oh. It hurts just thinking about it.
There's multiple things you could do, right?
Go on.
I think. Right, here's my idea, right? Russell T Davies, he's like the most sort of. I mean, he's got to be the most influential TV screenwriter in the country, right? Surely, like, it doesn't matter. It feels like wherever you turn, there's praise for Russell T if he comes up. So I feel like he has full access to just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, his name attached to this is kind of a lot anyway. It does say a lot, and people go, "Oh, Rusty Davies is back. Let's tune back in."
Yeah. So I'm thinking that there's practically no actor who wouldn't say yes.
Maybe Christopher Eccleston.
Yes, except for him, and that pains me so much.
Yeah.
And it also means no Eccleston on screen for the 60th.
That would have made the 60th worthwhile, but
yes.
What do you think about recasting Doctors? Because that's kind of been a topic of discussion. Because I think, because we'd had David Bradley playing the first Doctor. We had, I think that we should have Sean Pertwee playing John Pertwee because he looks identical. I mean, non-canon, but we did have Reece Shearsmith playing Patrick Troughton in Adventure Space and Time.
Yeah.
Is it too far or not?
I think David Bradley is what I like to call a sort of a warm and sensitive recast, because first he played William Hartnell, and I mean, I don't really know too much about William Hartnell, but from what I can tell and what most people say, he did a brilliant job doing it.
He was really good.
He actually studied up on him, not just on Doctor Who, but his other acting work before that. And then, a few years had passed after that, and then, it was Peter Capaldi who was like, "Hey, let's cast David Bradley." So it's like he was wanted, and he did a good job previously. So it's like, and clearly, like, Carol Ann Ford has never said anything like negative about it or anything like if somebody had a problem with it, like somebody would speak up.
Yeah, that's true.
I think anyway. Like
we also had Herndl as well as the first Doctor, who did quite a different take. He did a different take, but I'd say he still did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So if I'm being honest, I genuinely do like Richard Hurndall as the first Doctor. So I'm quite good with these hot takes. I don't mind them recasting certain Doctors if they was to do a
I think
60th. But it's
I
Chris Eccleston too far.
no, I think the Doctor actor has to be dead first
Okay.
before they go out their
So
way
you got
to
four
recast
to
them.
choose from. You got the first three and John Hurt. So yeah.
But I think also, they've had to be dead, but they've also quite a while has to have passed afterwards, and people who were close to them have to be okay with it too.
Oh,
Like
oh, go on. Sorry, I was just gonna.
like Tim Trelaw, he plays the third Doctor in Big Finish. And some people don't like him. Some people are totally against the whole recasting John Pertwee, but Katie Manning works really closely with Tim Trelaw.
I mean, she's just
And
really nice anyway, so I don't think she'd have a bad word to say about anybody.
True. Yeah. And then there's like other slight, it's like more personal recasts, like Peter Purvis and William Russell, both sort of got cast as the Doctor by Big Finish.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And I don't know, that feels even more sort of sensitive because it's literally their interpretation of the person they were working with.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely think that I don't think that's a bad way to go about things for something like Big Finish. Okay, so Devon asked a question, but I'm gonna add a spin on it. So I'll read the question first, and then I'll raise another discussion topic. Thoughts on David Warner as the Unbound Third Doctor? I don't have an opinion on that because I've not listened to it. But I'll add on to that and say, could we have a multiverse Doctor thing? Because that's one of those things which has been like tossed up in the air and things. And I feel like Rusty Davis's idea of expanding the Doctor Who universe, who's to say we can't do multiverse stuff? Because I'd be interested in that. And I actually wrote a script about this. I never told you, but I did write a script where Peter Cushing's Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, and another Doctor all team up. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that idea. I don't really like the idea of them doing too much with the character of a Doctor in the main show, like the Timeless Children and the other kind of stuff. But if it came to other universe Doctors, that is something which I would be very interested in.
Yeah, so I have listened to David Warner as the alternative Third Doctor. He's all right. He's pretty good. I think he's better in his later ones. I think he's better with age. I'm not so convinced by him in his early ones, but with Bernice Summerfield, he's better. And then as for the multiverse thing, well, it's essentially the same thing as the Unbound stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's, I almost wonder if like this is going back to Marvel. I almost wonder if they looked at the Doctor Who franchise and was like, look at all this untapped potential. We're gonna apply all these little things that you've missed out, and we're gonna profit off it with our own material. Because their What If series, where it's literally just what sort of alternate versions of the same movies that they did, but with a huge sort of twist.
Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah,
that's literally the tagline for Doctor Who Unbound. What if?
Yeah,
and then the question. Yeah, they've done it before, and people liked it.
Yeah.
I think it's a hugely good idea,
and
I think that if you were gonna make, say, if you had like 2 or 3 spin-off shows for this next upcoming era, a sort of multiverse Doctor or just multiverse in general, it doesn't have to be specific to the Doctor, series would be one of the top 3 things I would put in there, because I think I do think the Doctor Who franchise, as well as creating original things, does need to sort of harvest the fruits of nostalgia and all the mythos in
Yeah.
ways that are fun and not sort of alienating. So
Don't make the
like you
Daleks
can,
robots. Terry
yeah,
Nation did that, so I mean, I can't have too much of a go at Stephen Moffat because Terry Nation did it first.
yeah. So like, but like it's a way in which you could bring back David Tennant as the
Mm.
Doctor, but not have it in an anniversary special and not have the current Doctor regenerate back into David Tennant. You
Yeah.
could do like you could make an alternative 10th Doctor. I don't know. You have to pay me to think of these ideas.
Hang on, right? Okay, it's interesting you say that about the 10th Doctor, but I read this comment
Yeah,
from Devon, and this is a really cool idea. So
yeah,
you remember the series 5, which Stephen Moffat originally pitched?
yes,
He's basically right. Doctor Who Unbound. What if the 10th Doctor didn't regenerate and stayed for series 5, starring David Tennant and Karen Gillan? That would be really cool as like a little spin-off thing, as if
yeah,
what if series 5. I mean, it could be animated. It could be, because I think that they should do a Doctor Who cartoon. That's one of the
yeah.
things I've always wanted. They tried it with Infinite Quest, which I haven't seen since it came out, but I think we should review
It,
it. I think we should definitely watch it and review it because it'd be quite
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I think animated would make it, well,
Because I mean, that's what Marvel
someone
did
who,
with their What If movies. They animated the What If things, just so
yeah,
it's not like a massive budget thing.
yeah, I was gonna say, somebody who's actually invested in the animation industry can, say more about this than me. But what I assume is that it would be cheaper to do an animated series than a live action thing,
Mm.
especially for actors, because you don't have to get them on set and dressed up and
Yeah,
everything. You just have to get them in a recording booth. Um, yeah, that would be great.
I think I'm going to do a video on that actually, like a solo video of why Doctor Who needs an animated series. Because I mean, just look at the DVDs that are coming out, the recons of old classics.
Yeah,
Like, where's the money for that coming in? I mean, the BBC are funding stuff like that. Like, if they're going to fund stuff like that, then surely that they would actually fund like a original animated series.
I think John Granston, who used to be part of the Five Who Fans channel, he's an animator, and I think he understands more than anyone how fun it would be to have a Doctor Who animated series, because he's got his if you check his Twitter, he's got his own little concept Doctor, and all these really cool animations. Like, it's just a little bit of a flavor of what that might be like.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Untapped potential. But
Untapped potential lots.
it does make you wonder why. I mean, Infinite Quest was pretty crap anyway, but it was it was a pilot for more stuff probably. I would have thought, or Dreamland, one of the two. So why didn't it work back then when Doctor Who was really popular? Maybe it just wasn't the
I
thing
don't
to have
know.
an animated series, But I feel like it'd be
Um,
more popular now. What with the whole, like I just said, the DVDs coming out, I feel like classic fans would latch onto it really well. Uh, yeah,
yeah. I don't know that they were trying to make a full blown animated series at the time. I
no,
just think those may have been one offs at the time.
it's a bit weird though having two one-offs that kind of, they were both different
It's
art
just more
styles.
Doctor Who.
But it's kind of
True, yeah.
weird. It's very weird. I'd like to know more about the development of that. I probably should look into it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, be interesting to know. But okay, we'll go back to the we're talking about the future of Doctor Who anyway,
Yeah.
hypothetical future, but bringing it back to reality. a big point of this channel is obviously merchandise. So does this mean
go on.
that merchandise is going to come back? It's really hard to say because obviously the general consumer has kind of fallen out with collecting toys. I do see kids buying toys still. You know, when I go in B&M, people go, "Oh, mummy, can I have this Star Wars thing?" No, not Star Wars. That's not popular. What's popular? Fortnite or whatever. But I feel like Doctor Who could do it again. But I do feel like that they would have to do a kids thing and make it a bit more kid friendly. Because
Absolutely.
I mean, the Capaldi era, the reason the merchandise did so badly in that was because the episodes were just too dark, and kids were still watching it, but not en masse. So, you know, it's all about the market. It's all about what people want to buy. Because it'd be lovely to have in Smith's toy store a massive shelf dedicated to all that kind of stuff. But I mean, a power like Rusty Davies, I don't even think he could really save the toy industry. So it's
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of like the reason why the merch side of things has gone off in the last 10 years is to do with the showrunners or the quality of the stories, or if it's to do with like Tory austerity. Just there isn't as much funding for all that as they used to be.
I mean, plastic is obviously a lot more expensive now. What with it being a bit more sought after. But you know, see, people complain about politics, but it's real world. So I mean, when it comes to toys, politics are going to come into it because it's real world. So I mean, you got to talk about these things whether you like it or not. And it's a real downer. It really sucks that you have to talk about them, but you kind of do. But that's as political as I'll get on this channel, if I'm being honest.
So, Oscar,
hello.
Hi.
What? Hi.
So tell me what kind of things you would like to see. How would you like to see the merch side of Doctor Who be reborn, regenerated?
That's a hard one because I'll constantly like compare it to how it was, and like I just said, the whole toy scene's changed, so it's not going to be how it was. So we're not going to get characters like Brannigan and Laszlo and things like that. That's not going to happen because who wants to buy that anymore? So I definitely think the collector's market will still be a thing, but I'm really hoping that the two kind of merge a little bit, and you know, a bit from the past and a lot more from the present, because that's obviously a problem with the Chibnall era. The stuff didn't sell. There was only humanoid characters. There wasn't a Tim Shaw figure. There wasn't anything like that. So I'm hoping that Rusty Davies makes very iconic villains again. Rehire Stephen Moffat to write 1 or 2 episodes, and he'll create a good villain for you. Because I love Moffat's villains. But yeah, I feel that they need to lay the foundation first and let people say. But mind you, I would say let people say I want a thingy figure. But people have been screaming for I want a thingy for years, and you know it doesn't get it made. Like people wanted a 5-inch Nightmare in Silver Cyberman, that never happened. So yeah, I love that design. I know a lot of people don't, but yeah, it's a difficult one. Yeah, make sure take a lot of care on what you're doing first. Set up the building blocks, and your retailers will come and they'll go, yeah, that show's successful. That show's making money. We want to cash in on that because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I guess it comes back to I don't know. I guess it comes back to the power attached to Russell T Davies's name. I don't know. I was talking earlier about actors and things like, what if you got a really famous actor to play the Doctor? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. Just sort of maybe if you got a really, really charismatic actor, the most charismatic actor, you know, with the most sort of striking costume, and
Yeah.
you know, maybe that would sort of push people to sort of make more figures or something. Where am I going with this? I have no
Well,
idea
I
what I'm
mean,
talking about.
I'll add on to that. I mean, Christopher Eccleston didn't exactly have the most, out there costume. Yet figures of him
No,
sold like hotcakes. So I mean,
did
like
they? I
like a
thought I thought that would have been the Tenant ones.
well, they did as well. But I'm sure when the first wave of figures came. I mean, I was 6. I can't bloody remember, but I'm sure that they did sell incredibly well, and that's why a second wave came out because the first wave did so well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I said, obviously with the scene changing, I don't know whether something like that could sell to kids anymore. It's kind of weird because the
Well,
society we live in, everything has to be like all bells and whistles and bright lights and colors and things. And they tried to do that with the
mm,
Jodie thing, but okay, the marketing was all bright and colorful, but the series wasn't. Series 11 was a dull mess. So
yeah. Well, all right. I'll invite you to sort of.
brand consistency. That's what you need. I sound like a
I'll
capitalist.
invite you.
Sorry.
I'll invite you to look on other franchises
Okay.
in the current toy climate. How are they thriving? How are they keeping their brands sort of exciting?
I mean, I can only really speak on behalf of Sonic, obviously, because I mean that's what I
Yeah.
collect. That stuff's doing great. That stuff, the packaging's really colourful. The most recent game is really colourful, and the film was very fast and animated, and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like there's definitely a good brand consistency with Sonic at the moment. Whereas Doctor Who, Big Finish is so different from what's. Well, I mean, I don't know. Is it? I haven't listened to it all, so I mean, I don't know. But it does seem very different from what's actually on screen at the moment. That it feels like there is a brand
I
inconsistency,
mean,
and
as with any
you know,
Doctor Who, like it varies from story to story what it's all like.
well, that's true.
Um,
But I mean, there was kind of a consistent, feel to the Rusty Davies era,
yeah.
and
Um,
the past few years of New Who has had quite a lot of tonal whiplash. I feel it's struggled to have an identity. And I hope that he definitely brings the identity back. And I know you disagree with this, but I think that the logo doesn't have an identity at all. I think it's very stock, and someone could make it in 5 minutes in a graphic design class. I think it has no personality. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I feel like Rusty Davis's logo has so much character, just got so much sass, and it's very 2000s. I was saying to my mum the other day how the Rusty Davies modern Who for me is the 2000s. I don't know whether that's
yeah.
nostalgia or whether it's just the identity of modern Who. And I feel like now it doesn't really work so well because it was so 2000s when it was made. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, first, it's I don't have a personal sort of connection to the current logo. It's just the fact that, and I've said this before to you,
Mm.
just the collection sets
The
and
collection set.
basically any ongoing sort of merchandise that is still yet to be released, um, it's gonna look inconsistent if you change the logo partway through.
That doesn't really bother me, and I obsess about details, but I feel like if they changed it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. They've done it before. They'll do it again. I don't
I
think they'll
think a
keep
lot,
it. I definitely don't think they'll keep the current logo. I think they'll change it.
possibly right. I think it will upset a load of shelf collectors though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really collect DVDs any. Well, I try and buy as much as I can, but I'm very selective about what I buy on DVD. So, oh, there's only one 4K.2 episode released on 4K Blu-ray, and guess which one it is?
Is it Time and the Rani?
No, no, they couldn't
Oh,
upscale. They couldn't upscale classics to 4K. It wouldn't work like that. But it's a modern Who one, And I'll just tell you, it's Twice Upon a Time. It's like, if I want to watch Doctor Who on a 4K, if I want to watch Doctor Who on a 4K TV in true 4K, I have to watch that shit. Because, I mean, I like a couple of episodes from Series 11 and Series 12, and they were filmed in 4K, but for some reason we've not got a 4K DVD. Well, that kind of says it all, because like, if Doctor Who was in a good place, we probably would be getting 4K collection box sets.
Yeah.
Because it was filmed in 4K, so why would you release it in 1080? Doesn't make any sense. Unless the brand is doing terribly, which it is, and a lot of people like to say it's not doing terribly, but it kind of is. Merchandise has a lot to do with Doctor Who, and it kind of always has.
Yeah. Well, it always has since 2005.
Well, yeah, in terms of modern Who, I feel like modern Who and classic Who are two very different beasts, and there's no getting away from that. It will never be like classic Who, and I don't really want it to be, because I feel like classic Who is kind of untouchable. I mean, there's a lot of shit in classic Who, but it's got a charm to it and a lot of nostalgia, so I kind of want to just leave that there, do something new, do something fantastic. That's what Russ T. Davies did in 2005, but the past few years have kind of been nostalgia baiting and missed every time, so, you know, that's my take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Racist second Doctor in the Highlanders.
Why? What? I can't remember.
It's very, very, very untouchable. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I definitely think that Russell T. Davies will bring a huge sense of vision and identity to his second run. And B, I think that he will have to reinvent the show again.
Yes, absolutely.
Because a whole decade has passed. Like, technically, 2 decades have passed, in a sense, since he was last on it. Because he left just, he'd already left the production before 2010 hit. And then, the 2010s have been and gone, and now we're in the 2020s. So it's a hugely different time since the late noughties now.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to create a show like he did. He created a show for the mid to late 2000s. He's gonna have to create a show for the 2020s.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I'm not sure what form that will take, though.
No. I feel like we've covered a lot of the bases already, because I'll just be repeating myself. I don't want it to completely pander to the modern day, thing of having modern day companions and stuff.
No.
I want it to discover its own identity, but at the same time, it can't alienate viewers, because you do kind of need a little bit of that 2020 element in there somewhere. And I think modern day London will always be in Doctor Who no matter what. As much as I don't like that, it's just one of those things which I'm just going to have to deal with.
Has modern day London been in the Chibnall era?
That's a good... What about Revolution of the Daleks? Was that in London? No, that was Bristol. Or was it? No, but I mean, it was filmed in Bristol. The bridge thing was filmed in Bristol, but I don't know whether... I don't know. I can't answer that question properly, but... Yeah.
That's one good thing you can say about Chibnall era.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah.
It's still England, but
I don't know. The one thing I like about the Chibnall era is the location stuff that it did. Like, it actually went to different locations. Like, a lot of people don't like Resolution, but I really like Resolution because it had a lot of momentum, and I think it did a lot of things right, and I just wish we had more of that in the Chibnall era. I feel like it did kind of have a little bit of Russ T. Davies approach to its fast-pacedness and jumping from setting to setting. But I do think Chibnall did kind of have his own style in there, and I did appreciate that. I liked the Ryan and his dad scene. I know a lot of people didn't, but I liked how Chibnall handled that. I don't hate the guy. Never have done. And I think he definitely has his strengths as a writer, but a showrunner he is not.
Something I just thought of is that another reason why you can I guess, stop assuming that Russell T Davies will just fall back on safetyness, sort of the tropes that he pulled off in his run, is that we're about to step off an era that was quite heavily pandering or trying to nostalgia bait the Russell era.
Yeah.
And now
Did he already know?
and then we're about to go into a new era that is run by Russell T Davies again.
So yeah, like what's the balance of nostalgia and new stuff?
So
It's gonna be weird.
I wonder
weird.
if he knows full well that he has to make something. He has to put some extra effort in to make something original.
Yeah. It'd be nice if he watched this and then he could take notes. But no, he's smart enough to figure out his own solutions.
Yeah. He's probably ignoring it all.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of have to as a writer. You kind of have to just get on with it.
Yeah.
I
mean, the only place that is regularly online that we know of is Instagram. He's got a Twitter, but like he only really like uses it to say stuff every now and then. Like he used it mainly for the lockdown stuff, and then very quickly to talk about It's a Sin. Yeah, he pretty much doesn't use it anymore.
No.
So yeah, and he's very warm and cheeky to people on Instagram.
Yeah, I've interacted with him a couple of times on Instagram.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah. And I met him as well, for those who don't know. I met him in Cardiff. And it was really cool. And my dad went to the same nightclubs as his husband did back in the day. So that was really funny.
Wow.
Yeah, because they grew up like in the same area, which is really weird. I always have these unintentional connections to celebrities. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I dropped that.
Yeah, there you go.
See that little nugget? If you watch this far into this or listen in this podcast, then you get little nuggets like that. So you know, actually, this has been really cool. I definitely have preferred this approach to the podcast because it's kind of.
You think?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about it after the stream because I kind of forgot we were on a stream. But yeah, I did for a genuine solid 10 minutes. I kind of forgot. But yeah, in terms of podcasts and things, I would like to do more stuff like this because I don't know. See, we did have our worries about. You did say like, oh, what we're going to talk about if we just do it like the two or the three of us. But I think we've proved that we can pick a point and ramble on for an hour. So yeah. Exactly. I do want to talk more, but I feel like I've been repeating myself at this point.
Yeah, I think we only know so much.
Yeah. That's the thing with any news. Like people make thousands of videos speculating and stuff. And it's like, well, it's never what people want anyway. So it's
milk the information.
Milk it. Get those clicks. How many clicks have we had?
Well,
not many.
Yeah, I think we've milked this topic as far as we know of it. Mostly just speculation and hoping for other things.
I mean, I will just say before we go, how much is this overshadowing Chibnall's last remaining stories?
Oh,
how sad
completely,
is that?
Completely.
How sad is that? I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his era, but I've enjoyed some of his stuff. But I mean, you gotta be respectful, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, where is our Series 13 trailer? Like, I'm not even that bothered, and I still want the trailer.
Where's our Dan trailer? I want a trailer for Dan specifically.
Oh, you know what?
Who
right?
is Dan?
Who's
Dan?
You know what? I was watching this Doctor Who fan film but I can't remember what. I think the channel's just called Doctor Who Series 3 or something like that. It's a couple of guys, a couple of
Yeah.
real nice guys who make fan film. I always subscribe to lesser known channels because I'm like I like supporting lesser known creators. So go check them out. Doctor Who Series 3. The way that they did it, obviously it was only two people filming it, a bit like mine and Lewis's old days of filming. But I thought, what an interesting idea for a Doctor Who episode, where you tell the entire. Okay, Sleep No More tried the POV thing and it sucked, but we could do a POV thing from the companion's phone of the adventure.
Ooh.
A bit like what was it called? Cloverland thing, the J.J. Abrams produced movie.
10
Cloverfield.
Lane.
Cloverfield. It's like an action movie told entirely from somebody's phone, and it was really cool. And I'd love to do Doctor Who to do stuff like that, because it's like it's shaking up the formula. You know, it's keeping it fresh, keeping it interesting. I mean, I know in Love Monsters they did the Elton Pope vlog thing, but that was only like little segments. And I'd love to see something told entirely from the companion's perspective. It'd just be really cool.
Right? What if? Because one of Russell T Davies's known tropes throughout like all of his work is that he likes using the TV as a framing device.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
What if we had like that, but told through like TV reports?
Yeah, news reports of what's happening and stuff. That would be really cool.
Although that's technically, I think that is a Big Finish story.
Well, I mean,
Doctor
come on,
Big
Doctor Who
Finish
steals
story.
from Big Finish all the time. Haunting of Villa
True.
Diodati. You know, the whole Frankenstein thing. Didn't that happen in Big Finish?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Also, the two masters was literally a year before World Enough and Time.
so yeah, borrow from Big Finish if you can. Don't be disrespectful. You know, don't completely copy. Borrow some ideas. I'm sure Nick won't mind that much. I think he'll probably be flattered. But yeah, I watched the Sirens of Audio. They're, you know, the podcast guys, the two Aussies. They were saying how they were worried for Big Finish before this new old showrunner was announced, about how if we had somebody who wasn't like already well known in the Doctor Who community, then maybe Big Finish wouldn't be promoted as much. And they say they're really grateful that Rusty Davies is the showrunner again, because he pushed Big Finish at the beginning and said, "No, I still want these guys to have the license." So, Big Finish fans, you're okay. You're in safe hands. Don't worry. So, yeah, that's a positive note to end on, I think.
Think so.
Yeah. Unless you have anything else to add.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think the only thing is apparently this news was supposedly going to leak. That's why they announced it now.
Yeah.
Apparently he was going to be announced alongside the next Doctor, which I don't know. Has that been done before? I don't think it has.
No.
No. But yeah, Series 13, the 14th Doctor, that's what we've got to look forward to.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I've just woken up like the last 2 days, and I've sort of been like I remember Russell T Davies is the next Doctor Who showrunner, and I kind of like don't believe it, and I'm like overjoyed, over the moon. Kind of, I feel more creative after hearing he's back. I feel more motivated and inspired.
Yeah, I felt the same. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
There's actually a bit of faith, and it's annoying because I don't want to sound shitty to Chibnall, because he's a guy with feelings, and he doesn't.
He's a guy.
He doesn't decide everything. He's got people to answer to. He's got the execs, the people with the money. So it's not all on Chris Chibnall, no matter how much people like to paint it like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go into Series 13 with respect, with courtesy. I'll try and put to the back of my mind the Rusty Davies thing, and just judge the story on its merits. Try and be as fair as I can, because I think that's the best thing that you can do. So yeah, be kind,
Yeah.
guys. Don't take your hate out on one singular man. It will only bring you despair. I know that.
Or one singular woman.
Yes, exactly. I meant man as in humanity. So there you go.
Yeah.
I've covered myself there. But yeah, cool,
Yeah. All right.
nice.
I think that's about it then.
And Defrin says hashtag 12th Doctor versus the Paradigm Big Finish story. I would love to do a 12th Doctor versus Paradigm thing. That would be really cool. And who knows, I might be working on a script for that. See, another nugget in the podcast that you. Oh, we got 5 viewers. Like, as soon as we got about to sign off, we have the most viewers we got. 5. So. Oh well.
Oh, everyone, while you're here, everyone, go follow the Mono Supreme Twitter account and the Mono Supreme Instagram account, because yeah, we'd love more interactions with our followers.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a Facebook page as well, which I've got an app which distributes the posts to 3 separate platforms, and I had to create a Facebook one. So like the Facebook page as well. It's just Mono Supreme, the Home of Foo. So like that too. And you'll be up to date with. Well, I'm going to be posting regular updates on my Ice Warrior sculpt on Twitter and Instagram. Behind the scenes stuff for upcoming videos. So make sure you follow those guys, because I probably won't be posting them on here. So. And subscribe to the second channel, the Aussie Demon channel, because we've got a very special video. Oscar Demon channel. There you go. I forgot the name of it for a second. We've got a very special hour-long video coming onto that, and I really think you guys will like it. So, yeah. Peace out, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been me, Ozzy, one part of the Mono Supreme YouTube channel with...
Mana, another part of the Mono Supreme YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, guys.
Goodbye.